Hello, hello. Only 2 people? It's my channel, I can do what I want. So we're still waiting for you all to roll in. 3 people so far and 2 thumbs up. Hello, Judy. Hello, Michelle. So that was the intro. That was Hot Carl and Cape Town Carl car chase for anyone who was interested. And there shouldn't be many of you because there's only 3 watching so far. Oh my goodness. Maybe going an hour earlier wasn't the best idea at all. So hang on a second. Let me get the messages up and see what's going on. Only 3 people watching so far. Well, maybe that wasn't such a good idea going on early this evening. But we've got the 2 winch wrenches, so that's one good thing. We've got 2 people watching. So the reason an hour earlier, Michelle Canfram, whatever it is, I don't know, but Michelle, why we're an hour earlier is because it's spring break, and going an hour earlier may mean we can go an hour longer. But as we only have 3 people, we have a 4th person on board right now. It Sings a Lot. Hello, Sings a Lot. Glad to have you. And it's saying 555. Becky Pamplin is in the house, and there you go, baby P. Sadly, I didn't get to the post office today, but you will forgive me, I'm sure, because today I actually got to sit out in the backyard and get a little bit of sunshine and ground myself by laying on the grass and lying star shaped and allowing the vitamin D and the beautiful sun rays to penetrate my skin and my soul. So it's all good. Glad to hear you. It's all good, man. It's all good, man. Just like the criminal lawyer that I love so much from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So yeah, I've had a nice day of sunshine. I'm not going to say I feel brand new and fully recharged, but I certainly don't feel like the shit on a shovel that I was feeling. And I found a little emoji lip balm that I bought a long time ago that I was going to stick in the background there, but we'll toss it to the side. So we've got Baby Pamplin, we've got Sings a Lot, Judy Bell, and Michelle. And here's Deborah. She's been earthing. That's good to hear. So Deborah's been earthing. And we've got 7 people watching, 8 people watching now. Now we have got a little bit of what might be a groundbreaking piece of technological breakthrough at the thrift store. Now I have had a little bit of a rearrange in my studio. There we go. I've got Mr. Noodles in little shit watching over us, and also Prepper Baby and Binocular Boy. But if you can see here, and it does fit in the screen. There you go. I've got my TV screen. Now, what we might be able to do is if we can fit it in and twiggle it about a bit, and you can still see Mr. Noodles and Prepper Baby, we might be able to use this technology somehow to watch stuff and talk about it live. I don't know if it's going to work. It could be an epic fail. And as you can see, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius here in Toronto. And the time is 20:05 or 8:05 Eastern Pacific. So, and Michelle's in the pouring rain. So there we have a little bit of an upgrade to the studio. And let's pull this up so maybe But if it's like that, we can't see little shit. So I don't know. Let's figure out the camera a little bit. Move Mr. Noodles down, because we've always got to have Mr. Noodles in the corner. Up to 9 people. And there you can just see we got the nut sacks. So that's pretty much why I didn't go out to the post office today, because I've been waiting for the day since last summer to come that I could just lay out and do nothing in the sunshine. And honestly, CNP, you've just retracted your message, brother. I don't know what it said, but welcome, welcome. We've got you in the house also. So we've got all the regular criminals on hand tonight, and maybe we'll get a few more rolling in as we progress. So as I was saying, I've been looking forward to this day really since last summer, and last summer ended early, and it ended before August, in fact, and the fall-like conditions rolled in before August had ended, and it seems so very, very long since I've been able to get out and recharge the batteries in the sunshine. And it's beautiful where Deborah is, and it was actually a beautiful day here today. And California Ninja Prepper, and that is why I miss California so much, because the days of hot sun. And trust me, brother, if you ever want to come and experience a month of February at minus 30 degrees, you are welcome to it. And I'm sure you will never complain about it being too hot again, because that kind of cold, my friend, that chills you to the bone and freezes the soul. And you were the first one here today. And Tim, hello, me old mate. God bless you, me old mucker. Nice to have you on board, Tim Barbon. Barbone. But anyway, we'll call you Tim. Tim, thanks to have you on board. And we're just going to kind of drag things out a little bit. Wait and see. A perfect 76. Oh my goodness, baby Pamplin, that sounds beautiful. I think it got to 73 earlier, so that was a pretty nice day. And I always seem to get the nice days when I go to work, and when I'm off it always seems to be raining and grey. So sings a lot. You've got some rain as well, so it seems we've got a couple of you who've got rain, and a few of us have got sunshine. And there we are, we're into double figures. We've got 10 of you all watching now, so welcome. Usually when we get to double figures, we start the proceedings and get a little bit out of the intros and the hellos and how everybody's doing kind of stuff. That is a feature in this. And who's this? Good Vibes. Nice to see you, Good Vibes. What's good? So that is this evening, my friends. Made a dollar store prepper meal tonight, enjoying while watching. Well, good for you, Deborah. And that's what we like to see. A dollar store prepper meal is certainly a good way to get your nutrition. And as you saw last night in the first of the live feed, 5 nights live spring break special. Hello, Aztec McFly. Hello, McFly. Anyone home? Anyway, there we go. My good old Back to the Future buddy, Marty McFly. So we've got quite a few of you coming into the house. So just before I got on air, I was enjoying some coffee, which I've misplaced. I can't find it. Anyway, I was having a nice little smoke. So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? I don't mean that, Marty McFly. You stay around. You're my favorite just because of the Back to the Future reference. And almost with your introduction to the proceedings, this gives me the indication for tonight's topic. We are going to be talking a little bit about predictive programming and social programming, if that's okay. If that's okay, what the fuck's wrong with my speech patterns? But that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about tonight. And maybe some of you heard me on Adam's show on Marfugal News last night, talking a little bit more about the alien agenda and some more predictive programs. I'm not sure if we will mention meat sticks that much tonight, Aztec, but there you are. There was a gratuitous mention of meat sticks for you, and Aztec and Becky, they both heard me on there, and we talked a little bit about Adam again, about the predictive programming. It's kind of funny, full circle in many ways, that that was kind of what I spoke about the first time I was on his show. And since that, this is how the thrift store has grown, and the thrift fam continues to grow. And we've got another 100 new subscribers overnight. So thumbs up. Welcome to all of you newbies that are part of the thrift fam now. And thank you, Danielle, for saying I did well. And I am getting a little bit more confident, and sorry, I must realize to put a hand in at least. So we're over 1900 strong, getting very close to the 2K. So I don't know if or not we can make that by the end of the spring break or not. That would be absolutely awesome. So it's up to you all now to do a little bit of helping hands, and maybe if you've got a friend or somebody that you know that may enjoy this, get them over and let's see if we can get TSP to 2K before the end of spring break. Does that sound like a mission we can achieve, Thrift Fam, together? Because we are a community and we are in this together, and we try to interact as much as we can on these live feeds, and hopefully with the TV screen and the as I said, the technological advancements that we have taken here in the thrift store. So let me give you a little bit more of a tour guide. So we'll step out a little bit, and I can use my safe selfie stick. Hello, Kepnik. Goodness, I can't. Kepnik Rakoff. I can't say that. So there's the TSP studio. There's some nut sacks for you. There's a drink for you to have. There's little shit, Mr. Noodles, Binocular Boy, aka Bugle Boy, Prepper Baby. What happened to the... Oh, never mind. We're going to forget that. There's the TV screen that hopefully we may be able to use to do some predictive programming. Round here is the pantry. There's the mirror, and I'm going to give you a little tease again. Almost see me. That's the TSP waving to you in the mirror. You can see the backpack, some of the pretzel fish, the nuts that we packaged up yesterday, and the bug out bag. So that's it. Reality, people. This is a real YouTube channel. I'm a real person, and the things and advice I like to give you are as real as they can be. And every now and then we've put the thrift store fireplace out. That's it. We need to get the thrift store fireplace going, otherwise it's not a TSP episode. So maybe moving around a little bit. I've lost some Wi-Fi settings, and please excuse me, I'm dressed in my cut-off sweatpants and lazy t-shirt, rather like girls who have their period sometimes put on comfortable underwear to lounge around when they're not feeling their best. I'm in my lounging clothes because I'm on spring break, so good for a munchie trip. Exactly. I've got all the things there at hand that I could need. And don't forget, we have a lot of herbs still to be getting through, and we will probably having a little TSP 420 break, which is something I think is pretty much exclusive to this channel. Let me know if there are any other channels that bring you a 420 break in their live feed. So you have a little look around the Thrift Store Prepper Studios, aka the basement that I live in case you want to know. That's where I sleep and where the magic doesn't happen. And there you go. That's something I say a lot, and that was how the drinking game was formed. So nope, no 420 breaks. So we puff and pass virtually here. And I wish we were all sitting together, because I would certainly break out the bud and let you have a little piece so we could have and Marty McFly, I'm going to call you Marty McFly and not McFly Marty, just because I love Back to the Future, and maybe something we will be talking a little bit about more tonight. So maybe as you're rolling one and I'm rolling one, I should roll one, and maybe we should have an early 420 break, go out outside and have a little look at the sunset, see what's going on in the neighborhood, and then maybe come back in and get things started. I don't know. We're making shit up. This is spring break after all. We're here to have fun. I've even got some vodka left somewhere. A little swig of vodka. So maybe we could have a little... Hell yes. So Danielle's down with that. Seeing as Marty's rolling, I'm going to start rolling and have a little chat to you. So I was going to try, and I might even be able to do this, and cast your comments Yes, I can. And now if I rotate, oh my goodness. Oh, that didn't work. It's got to stay that way. But look, people, I can read your comments on the screen. Awesome. Technological breakthroughs. What a wonderment of things we have going on here. So that's going to make life a little bit easier for me. Thank you. I get so very easily wondered with these little things. So this is absolutely fantastic. My God, I feel like I'm SpaceX or Elon Musk now. And my goodness, we're up to 18 people. So somewhere, 8 of you. Oh, we lost one. 8 of you snuck up on us from somewhere, and I'm the outcast. You're eating cheese, California Ninja Prepper. Now this is, oh my God, this is making life so much easier. And thank you. I'm quite proud of myself right now, and I can even I'm just typing something. I'm just posting a message, and there it is, and you can see it going up the screen there. Awesome. We're getting a little bit like Marfugal almost. So California Ninja Prepper CMP, he's got the munchers and he doesn't even smoke the herb in Keptnik. I don't know how to say that. I see is noodles and a piece of poop. That is all we have at the moment. I am fabricating myself a little something, and we're going to go out and have a little smoke outside. And who's this? What is this? Who's Shabba Shabadoo? Somebody has a message up for review. Give him a run for his money. Marfugal, that is. Well, you know, I do like Adam. He's a nice chap. But they do seem to have a bit of drama going on over at the Marfugal news group. Don't know what many of you are thinking of that, but we've had quite a few new members show up to the thrift store, the Thrift Fam Clubhouse in the last few days. And we've certainly seen that grow in recent days. And you wench wrenches who are the moderators over at the Facebook groups, you've been a bit busy. I'm with yourself. And there's all kinds of drama going on, and that's right. And what we try to do is well, no, it's not a selfie stick. It is my camera holder and tripod. But that was what it was branded as. And look, here's the box that it come in. It says it's a selfie stick. I used to live in Queensquay, now in Cambridge. What do you do if the shit hits the fan in Toronto? Well, I don't really know. The worrying thing for Toronto is that I would be in Toronto when the shit hits the fan. That's all I can tell you on that one. But it's hard to speak hypothetically about things that may or may not happen. But I don't know if you can remember if you were here when the G20 shit went down. I was actually in California at the time in LA when it was happening. I remember watching a little bit of the goings on at on YouTube at the time. In G20 here in Toronto, that was a very interesting event in the fact that they introduced martial law for the weekend but didn't tell anybody about it. And this is what we do here at Aztec. We have a little bit of fun and laughs here, and we don't try and encourage drama. We try and stay away from that, and we try to just have that community spirit where we all interact and laugh with one another. And also, hello, Anika. Caught you live just pretty late. No, we've not been rolling that long. We're only 20 minutes into it, and we haven't really even started tonight, Anika. So glad you could be on with the live show tonight. So Danielle, yeah, we try to be positive and we just try to be upbeat and lighthearted, and that's why we have little shits and nutsacks and meat sticks on our channel. Hello, Jose. Nice to have you on board. We're up to 22 now, so that's good. It's always an idea with these live feeds to kind of drag it out as long as possible. And again, you know, I've got all the time and respect for Adam as a person, and certainly for Dex and the guys behind the scenes there that do such a good job. And you know, without Adam, I wouldn't have had the people that are here now as part of the Thrift Fam. But I think a lot of you that have come over and have become, you know, part of this community and are contributing. Hi there, Mummy Bear, Mama Bear. The vacay was great. I got to get a little bit of sun today, so I'm feeling good about myself. But I think what most of you all are enjoying that are part of the Thrift Fam is just the light-hearted and kind of old-fashioned way of people being nice to each other. And, you know, anybody that comes to the live feed, be they new or old, we welcome in every way, in shape and form. Hello there, JD Forney. I wish I was drinking. Well, we're going to have a little puff and we're going to have a little, I'll probably have a little drink because it is my vacation and I'm allowed to do these things. And it was quite funny last week when I got a little bit toasted in the live feed. So we've got a good bunch of you all in the live chat getting on with each other. You know, last night we had Gigi, who was new to the crew. She'd never watched a Thrift Store Prepper episode before, but by the end of it, she was like one of the old faces in part of the furniture here, and she will be receiving a nutsack of her own. So I did get your email, Baby Becky Pamplin, and I did get Gigi's email. So as I said, it was a nice day for me to relax and just do nothing in the backyard. So I didn't feel like walking the 10 minutes to the post office, so forgive me for that. But maybe tomorrow I get my ass into gear and go and do that, because I don't think we're going to have the sunshine. So I'm rolling myself a little something off camera here. I don't drink, but I take a rip from a Big Bertha. I don't really drink that often, but my little dishwasher, bless him, last week, because I had a hard shift, he bought me a little bottle of vodka and a packet of cigarettes. And bless him, shout out to my little Sri Lankan Gigi dishwasher. He's a lovely, lovely guy. And I wish I could market him as a cuddly type of Furby thing. He's that cute, and not in a gay way. He just is a very cute little guy, kind of like an Ewok. You know, they were lovable. But JD, alrighty. So I do mix my herb with my tobacco, which some of you may frown on, but I do like the nicotine as much as the THC. And if I can remember where I put my coffee, we might be able to go out and have a look at the sun come down. Making a poinsettia kettle one and pomegranate juice. Okay, where are you, Anika? If you don't mind me asking, is it, am I right in thinking you're from Saudi Arabia or something originally? Forgive me if I got that wrong. Is there any other way to drink coffee, Tim, other than black and bitter? I think if you're pumpkin spice latte in it, or extra foam mochaccino latte, skinny, gluten-free, lactose-free, frappuccino, unicorn drinks, you're just drinking wankers milkshakes. I think, no offense to anyone who does like those frothy, Starbucky types of things, but I like my coffee black and bitter. I don't know about you. I don't even put sugar in it, and I like it by the pot load. I don't drink a cup, I drink a pot every morning. I am going to go in a bit downtown. I don't want to bring down the fun vibes. Have an awesome night. Oh, sings along. That's a little bit of a share. And a double, that's something very common here in Canada. But if you live in Southern California, a double is something that you get from In-N-Out Burger, and is a thing of beauty and deliciousness. So, who's not feeling, oh, is it Sing-A-Lot that's not feeling very well? I thought she was going downtown. A metrosexual Starbucks drink, yeah, or whatever. But I don't like those things, although I've had a frappuccino before, not a unicorn one, but I think I had a caramel one before, and it was quite nice. But I certainly, you know, didn't get an erection over it and needed one every single day of my life, and feel the need to share it on Instagram if I just bought one. There's nothing special or fun about buying one of these things, but Oh, there you go. We've got quite a diverse crowd in tonight. So are you saying, yay, you are from Saudi Arabia? And is there some Dutch in you as well? I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm trying to remember and get used to all my new subscribers and welcome people. Anika's been around a little while, actually, Danielle. She does comment quite a lot, but has never ever caught a live feed before. I think this is the first time she's managed to catch one. So that is pretty awesome. So we're not really getting into much as of yet, but we will be going into some predictive programming shit afterwards. Hello, Michael from Mississippi. Mrs. I, Mrs. C, Mrs. something. There was a song about that, wasn't it? Mrs. I, Mrs. S, Mrs. S, S. How you spell it? But there you go. And don't you have to count seconds with Mississippi between? One Mississippi, two Mississippi, and that was on an episode of Friends, I believe. Ross counted Mississippi lists or something. I don't know. That's a strange word. So okie dokie, I've done with my little rollings. We're going to have an early 4:20 break. If I can remember where I put my coffee. Oh, there it is. And this was made with the coffee pot that I found on the street, and very black and bitter. So I might have to put a little jacket on because it's a little bit chilly outside now, and I'm only in a t-shirt. Uh-oh. I lost the connection. It's back. Yeah, just in a second, Judy. I've got to I'll leave my coffee cup there, get a little jacket on. Excuse me for that. I'm just zipping up my jacket and putting my hoodie on. And here could be something fun for you. Ha ha ha. I bet you enjoyed that one out there. So hello, Just Arizona. Finally caught your live stream. Well, you're just finally catching us going outside to have a little puff. And I showed you a little cheeky glimpse there. Whether or not you enjoyed it. So I don't know if we're going to encounter anybody at this time of day, possibly. Neighbours and stuff sometimes are a little bit active. There's the pushchair I took off the street to bring my groceries home the other day. So here we are. This is the neighbourhood in the daytime. There's Japanese houses across the street and someone's shouting at them kids. Excuse me, I'm just coughing before I even start. Oh, look, what we got in the sky, look. What's that going on up there? A little bit of a trail going on. And oh my goodness, look. It's one of those straight line looking cloud things. So it was almost good that we come out. Look, that's kind of, can you see that? There's like a straight line going on there. I can't read. Okay, it's probably buffering because I went outside and I'm a little bit further from the modem. So I have noticed that sometimes when we walk away from downstairs, which is where the router is, and when I come outside, I get a little bit further away from the from the signal. But yeah, look, there's a big fat one up there, and we're looking at this live, people. Couldn't believe it. There is an airplane up there as well coming through the cloud. I don't know if you can make that out. And there's some locals walking around in the neighborhood, but he was looking over at me. What's he doing? And he's got his little white legs out. Nice straight line. Yeah, very much so. So that's it. So yeah, anyway, this buggy's been out on the street for like 4 or 5 days. Now it's actually was of no use to me, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that would love to put this buggy to use. But the other day, in fact yesterday, when I was coming back from the dollar store, it was my bags were too heavy to carry and they were starting to weigh me down, and this was very, very close to the streetcar stop. So I tossed my bags in there and wheeled that down the slope, because I do live on a little bit of a gradient, not a huge one, but it helped me get my stuff down. I'm born in Dubai and I'm from Denmark. That's right. I knew you had a little bit of the whole Heinz 37 going on. But anyway, that was something, that was a piece of trasher that was left on the street that helped me bring my dollar store hauls back yesterday. So having a little selfie stick, it certainly made it a little bit easier, and I could even use the tripod, but there's a little cloud of smoke for you there, people. Yep, so when are they not messing with the sky? I don't know. What's 57 Canfram? So up to 30 minutes, and we haven't even started, and we're having a little 420 break already. So I hope, there it is, look, there's me spliff, give it a little flick, and there's a nice yellow bike. Danish and Colombian, I bet that's kind of a crazy mix. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the Latina ladies, particularly the Colombianas, and the Venezuelans for some reason. Thank you, good vibes. I've been doing this a long time, so I can almost do it blindfolded, and there's another couple of locals walking by. I don't know if I'll lose the signal if I walk too far away to show you a little bit more. Heinz 57, not 37. I'm thinking of Baskin and Robbins, right? Have we got Wolf Whiskey in the house? Who's this? Einstein's mum. Hi, you've just joined. Thank you for just joining Einstein's mum. So glad to have you as part of the Thrift Store family, and part of this TSP Spring Break live, 5 nights live. And we're just having a little smoke break out on the stoop, and plane farts. That's hilarious. That's what we should call them if we have to go. There's a guy on his bike, look, having a little bit of a ride. He may be pretending he's being chased by cops and he's trying to rescue E.T. I'm saying that because we might use E.T. as some predictive programming chat a little bit later. And there's another aeroplane. I don't know if you can see it up there coming into land. Probably not, but Toronto Airport's just over there. And let's see how far we can get without losing the Wi-Fi. So there's a house, a little bit of a neighborhood. And sometimes when I see a cone, I just feel like running over and picking it up and using it as a megaphone and shouting out Hyde Park is, and I don't want to get too far away. Stoop and my coffee cup, and it's my coffee barrel ashtray that I do actually fill out. Sorry, the buffering, that's why we don't try to walk around much when we are doing these live feeds. So sorry about that. That's why I don't try to walk around too much. So we will be finishing up this little smoke break and going up inside and getting back to basics and talking about what we're going to talk about on tonight's show. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this little outside in the daytime, because normally it's dark when we come out here, and sometimes we see suspicious characters peering around the corner in the form of my roommate Roger, or I don't know where he is today. He's gone out. Where are you from? Well, I'm from England, but I live in Toronto, Canada now. So this is being streamed live to you from Toronto, Canada. And this would be Parkdale, Ronsonville's area. And there's another local walking around, and you might be able to hear some sirens in the background and the birds chirping. So as I said, we're having a nice little early 420 break here. And of course, in Canada, it's perfectly legal. Something to do, so a little spliff and a little cup of coffee before we start the show off is always a good way to begin, don't you think, people? And that is some pretty damn good coffee, and it happens to be Colombian. And as we have our little part Colombian, part Danish Anika in the audience tonight. So it's 8:30. Yeah, it's 8:30 here too. So we started at 8 o'clock tonight, a little bit earlier than yesterday, but it's spring break. We can do what we want, and that's why we're having a little bit of a smoke to start things off. I love Canada. Well, it's a very expensive place to live in Toronto, for sure. And part of why I show you what I do is because this is really how, I get by here when I'm not at work. And you saw yesterday I put together my dollar store stew, And Einstein's mum loves my accent. Well, thank you very much, Einstein's mum. I hope you like the content as much as the accent. And there's a little bit of a beta male, local male that's been told to go out and take the kids for a walk while the old lady can do some Snapchatting to her cyber lovers, I'm sure. And there's a lot of those kind of characters in this neighbourhood, and it's a little bit of a surprise to see him actually pushing his kid in a stroller, because most of the young family types around here drag their kids around in wagons, like those little radio flyer things. But yeah, I do try to bring as much humour into these live feeds as I can, and I do try to think of myself as a little bit of a comedian, although I've never ever took it upon myself to do stand up or give it a go professionally. This is maybe a little bit of a way of testing those waters on a live audience, if I can make you laugh. And here comes another person that's been out in a nice bright yellow cap. So this is a little bit like people watching and social commentary live. And, I am a little bit of a loner and someone who has travelled a lot on my own. And I've lived for the last decade as a bit of a lone wolf in North America. And people watching and observing behavioural patterns is something that you don't need to understand languages. Sometimes if you can read the body language and the behavioural patterns of people. So I do enjoy sitting down sometimes and having a little smoke and watch what's going on around me. People watching is very fascinating and more interested than reality TV and TV shows. So. And Einstein's mom, me too. You're not saying me too as though I've assaulted you in some way, verbally. I didn't mean to if I did. Or are you saying me too? You like to people watch? And Aztec's got to go, but he'll be back. Nutsacks. No, okay, I'm just joking with you. And we do have some inappropriate humor on this channel, Einstein's mum. I must warn you, if you are of a sensitive nature or a bit of an SJW, then there is a chance that there could be some things that may trigger you. But if you're down with the TSP fam, like I think you are, and if you like to people watch and like the sound of my accent, then maybe stick around and enjoy the humor that we bring. So Aztecs is bouncing for a while, and I've seen something there. Good vibes. He became a Canadian citizen of 4 or 5 years, and I've been 3 times, and soon the 4. So you're coming to Toronto in November? Is that what I'm guessing from this? Good vibes. Whiskey Wolf, I do plan on getting west sometime, and I was out in Vancouver some years ago. I've got like 1 puff left. All right, so done with our little smoke. I've still got a sip of coffee left. Let's say goodbye to the buggy, the neighborhood, one last look at the sky, and we're gonna go back inside and get on with things. I wish I was 47. It's legal here. Are you in Canada too, Einstein's mom? Oh, look what we got going on now. The thing's on off. So we're gonna have to get the screen back to normal, and let's get the tripod set up. We're back in the warmth and the prepper cave, a bit like the Bat Cave. Awesome. I like what you're doing there, CanFran. The prepper cave, or the prepper bunker. That sounds pretty cool. So I might have to shut a window a second. Okay, let's get back to business. So, predictive programming, people. The prepper bunker. Yeah, you're liking that one. I need to plug this backup phone in. And the preparatorium. Yeah, like Doctor Strange, right? I've actually got, hang on, let me see if I can show you this. That's a Doctor Strange tattoo I've got going on the inside of my arm. I don't know if you can see that very well, but some of you have asked to see some of my tattoos. So yeah, I've got a Doctor Strange tattoos going on. And yeah, there are some states down in below the border that are legal as well for smoking marijuana. So that's pretty good. And as I say, this new technology that I've got going on here, look, we can read your brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So there we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about predictive program, maybe some social program tonight, if that's all right to you. And I haven't really got anything planned other than what's in my memory. And I've been well, I can't really show you all of them, Danielle, because there are a lot. In fact, I'm pretty much covered. If that helps your imagination or just fuels further curiosity, I don't know. But yeah, there's not really much room going on for that much more. So anyway, we are going to try and talk about predictive programming, although we might not. We might just keep chatting amongst ourselves and blow all that shit out the window, because sometimes the best plan is no planning. To improvise and just go with the flow is sometimes a much better way to be living. You're down in New Jersey, huh? So you're not too far away, to be quite honest, because we do like just across the lake from me is New York State. We're not very far from Buffalo and Niagara on the lake. So on a good clear day, I can see into New York State from just down the road, because I'm very, very close to Lake Ontario where I am. And I might take you on a little walkabout one day to show you down by the lakeside. And believe it or not, we've got beaches here in Toronto, something you probably didn't think Toronto would have, but it does. And what are we stopping, Daniel? Telling you about tattoos? Or just like stop the live feed, this is too shit? Actually, no, Mama Bear. The only kind of areas that are not really tatted are like kind of underwear regions and sort of my legs. So I'd have to like take my pants off to show those, or I think that might really be what you're hoping for. So my hands, they're not tattooed. There's some non-tattooed areas for you. Underwear regions, Lamo. Yeah, so no, I don't. I actually have kind of, although I have many, many tattoos, I'm fortunate enough that I can put a collar and cuffs on and cover myself completely, and you'd never ever know. This ain't, I meant your hands. Of course you did, Mama Bear. Of course you did. There's butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, as they said. Toronto's about 8 or 9 hours. Well, if you ever took the 8 or 9 hour trip, good vibes. I've got some buds for you, brother, and we could go, or sister, whichever you are. I'm not too sure. That's a little bit of an ambiguous name. Collar in cut. Sings along, you're back. How many inches from the bottom of your palm to the top of your middle finger? And I know what you're getting at there. It's longer than the little bottle, look. So longer than that, darling. I don't know how many inches that would be. So predictive programming, it doesn't look like we're going to talk about it, because it looks like we've got some very, very randy ladies in the audience tonight. So if or not we can get our minds out of the gutters and underwear regions in index fingers and thumbs, then we might try and get some predictive programming spoken about. And that was the intended content for the night, but it's 45 minutes and we haven't even covered 1 second of this topic. So good grief. And just Arizona is OMG and laughing MFAO. How did I start it? I just started a live feed that I wanted to talk about predictive programming, social programming and movie stuff, and we had a little 420 break, and when I got back in, you ladies have turned this into Pornhub for housewives, like not the real Pornhub, because we're a little bit PG-13. And Mama Bear is, yes, get to do get to it, and weed will do things, and it does open the barriers of perception if we listen to good old Jim Morrison. Although Jim Morrison, part of the CIA psyop and the hippie movement, it was a disestablishment tactic to the society of the times. So we're trying to get into the realms of the desired content, and none of you are doing anything to help matters. Certainly you Randy MILFs out there. So my cheeks are hurting from laughing, and this is what is important, just Arizona, because some other platforms that you come to and you watch these live shows, you go away a little bit frightened and scared and worried about what tomorrow will bring. But at the thrift store, we try to get your cheeks laughing, or some of you pounding on the desk and leaving with smiles on your faces, wanting to come back the next day because you can laugh again. And Laurel Canyon and the Tavistock Institute. Thank you, Michelle Canfam. So there's something we can maybe start off with, and that's kind of why I mentioned a little bit Jim Morrison, to try and get us back to the thing. And laughter is the best medicine, and with too many people fearing the shit out of you people, I'm just making you laugh and piss your pants crying with the laughter. I mean, I hope you're not pissing your pants, because that would be awkward, but maybe get yourself some Depends in preparation, and something you might want to put in your pantry in eventualities for TSP Live, if there is going to be some PP Pants City laughter going on. And this is it. The best medicine is laughter. And if you don't laugh, then you will only cry, as they say. So Depends in Einstein's mum. There we go. She's laughing and everyone's laughing. And we're nearly 50 minutes into this thing. And I've still got some coffee left. Preparation H. That's the stuff for the hemorrhoids, right? Oh my God, this is never going to turn into a predictive programming show. Never in a million years. As much as we're trying to, you just get dragged back into comedy and drink it. I'm trying to drink the coffee. I'm trying. Don't you find those people who drink coffee like that a little bit annoying when they have to like gulp and I do. I'll tell you what I mean like this. Those type of people. Team workaholics, welcome. And 21 people watching still, even though this has been pretty much about nothing so far for the first 47 minutes. And we are Costanza-ing the shit out of this program about nothing. Don't do it. Good vibes. That's the worst. It is the worst. I'm drinking coffee white now. Coffee's up. So yeah, we had a little bit of vodka drinking and getting baked last week. This week we got some cookies. Maybe we'll bring you some milk and cookies at some point. I think I said cookies twice. I meant coffee. The 420 and the 30% THC. But anyway, that certainly put us in a good light for this evening. So clanking the spoon over there now. I haven't got a spoon, but I got some scissors. Is that what you mean, Einstein's mum? This is Nairobi, dark roast, and I believe it's a Colombian blend. So I must admit, I'm not a coffee snob in the sense of these Frappuccino wanker milkshake type coffees, but I like my coffee to be proper coffee, and dark roast and black and bitter is the way the TSP likes his coffee. So maybe if I get my PO box up and running, you can send me your favorite coffee to drink on the live streams. And there you go. Colombian coffee is always good. Hawaiian coffee is also pretty damn good as well. No, yes, a guy that does it every morning. Do you like this guy? Do you want to tell us about him? Maybe we can make some fun of him as a family, because maybe we give you the when you're part of the thrift fam, this is somewhere you can come and vent about your bad days, or the weird guy at work that does that every morning, and he probably does it to piss you off like a social vampire. in social vampires, they're kind of people who suck the life and energy, everything. Well, I'm looking into getting a PO box, Team Workaholics. And, I think I've mentioned before, I used to be a resident of LA, and lived in and around the area, although more in San Bernardino than LA County, Rancho Cucamonga, Upland in Ontario, amongst some of the places I resided in. Farmer Boys and In-N-Out and Del Taco are places I miss very much, and certainly Vietnamese donuts. Oh my God, Vietnamese donuts. But just Arizona, he's also saying he wants to send some stuff as well. So yeah, next week, all being well, I'm gonna hopefully get the PO box up and running. I don't know if I can do it before then, but certainly next week I might be able to do something along those lines, because I looked into it. It's about $100 for 3 months rental, including the key deposit. So it's doable. I'm hungry. I'm not eating just TSP with the spoon in the metal cup meal. Yeah, the Cowboy Cook. And there's someone I like to watch, Cowboy Cook Rollins. We had a little bit of a bitch and a rant at Gordon Ramsay yesterday, but a cook that I really do like and admire is a guy called Cowboy Ken Rollins, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he cooks up all sorts of good sort of cowboy chow. We haven't got the PO box yet, Anika. You're just going to have to be a little bit patient, my darling, and wait till probably next week when we can get the PO box up and running. As I said, I don't think I can make that happen this week. I was hoping I could. And I have actually taken another step to upgrade the thrift store studio, and I'm buying a second phone with a 48 megapixel camera on it. And it's actually a budget phone, and I will do an unboxing when it arrives. No, Michelle, you've already displayed far too many stalker-like skills for me to give you my real address. Now, I do send out the giveaways, and I put an address on the back just to let you know that is an address for a homeless shelter here in Toronto. So don't be sending anything to that address, because you have to give a return sender's address when you send stuff out in case it gets returned. So it is an address, something I have to use in a requirement for sending stuff internationally. But I use the homeless shelter that I stayed at for a few months when I was homeless, and that is the address that I use as my return sender address at the moment. But hopefully once we get this PO box up and running, I'll put it out, and those of you who for what unknown reasons feel the need to be sending me stuff, you're going to be able to do that. So at almost the hour mark of talking about absolutely nothing, we've been laughing and joking the whole time. We should really try and get a little bitted. 420 Prepper Street. Yeah, I wish I could live on 420 Herb Avenue. The Seinfeld of YouTube. And yeah, George Costanza is a huge influence of mine, as is Kramer a little bit. They kind of live life how they should do in some ways. And Costanza, we should all embrace a little bit of his spirit, I think. And Tyler Durden from Fight Club is another influence of mine, and Indiana Jones as well, making shit up as we go along, just like tonight's episode, which I did have planned and even rehearsed in my head a few of the opening lines that I've since forgotten. So good job there, TSP. But improvisation and adaptation is something that you've got to kind of learn yourself to do, and it's a good skill to have. Who is Elaine and who is? I'm really not sure who is Elaine. I'm thinking Sings Along. You could possibly be the Elaine. I'm thinking Danielle would be the female Kramer, maybe, and who was? I'm not going to say Canfram is Newman, but maybe Michelle is Jerry. I don't know. I wonder why you forget Lamo. Yeah, Spongeworthy. and we've got some Seinfeld stuff. But this is good because it does bring us back to the predictive programming and mainstream entertainment. Certainly movies and TV shows are the platform, or rather it used to be the platform that brought us all of our programming and part of our education come from TV, and part of the way they make the reality or the comparison to reality is to bring it to us in fiction first of all, and then when it happens for real, they can make reference to the fiction. And we are trying. And Whiskey Wolf, what am I spot on that Danielle would be the female Kramer? I mean, just Kramer was the best one. People liked Kramer more than anyone, Danielle. That's not an insult. And CJ Blaze, he's one of the mods over there at the Fugal fam, and he's here with us tonight. Welcome, CJ Blaze. Don't know how long you've been around, but whether or not you've missed anything so far, I don't know, because we've just been talking Sorry, CJ, you're a lady, I guess. Of course you are. The accent and the lady factor. Now, something you do have to realize that I have been in North America 11 years. And believe it or not, within an hour of getting off the plane at LAX, I realized just how powerful the accent over the native females was. So I didn't think it really would be a contributing factor to the YouTube channel so much as it does in kind of real life, but it seems to have worked. But don't let the accent be the only reason you watch. We do try to bring you some informative stuff and some real advice that real people can actually achieve. And Einstein's mum doesn't watch TV much anymore. And to be honest, neither do I. The only real TV show that I have any time for anymore is Better Call Saul and, Breaking Bad. And I'd rather watch these over and over again than rather watch some of the new stuff, because maybe we are opening a can of worms. Maybe the worms are already open, California Ninja Prepper, and have escaped and are colonizing their own worm thing. What do worms live in? I don't know what they call them. Bunkers? No, that wouldn't be a thing that worms live in. But TV and movies were very much the way that they've not necessarily brainwashed us, but there is a little bit of brainwashing going on in there. And there is a reason they call it TV programming, because that's what it does. It programs you. And yeah, it is the best show on television, Michelle Canfan, but we're not here to talk particularly about Better Call Saul tonight. But we are going to try and talk about some examples of predictive and social programming using in the TV land and through the TV screens, how they manipulated people. And something the topic, just Arizona, we were going to talk about predictive programming and social programming tonight, but we're already nearly an hour in and we ain't talked about any of that shit. And every time I keep trying to, we get drawn back in. But Good Vibes hasn't watched any TV in over 2 years. And watching the YouTube, and very much that's the same. That's where I started getting my entertainment from, was watching YouTube, and I found a lot of interesting documentaries and a lot of interesting content out there. And I've watched quite a few YouTube channels, and there's quite a few channels that I still subscribe to and watch as entertainment rather than the TV. Great content here on the Saturday morning cartoons and Mama Bear, Netflix, Prime, Amazon Do they are. And this is what I've kind of tell you a little bit with the technological revolution in the AI and the algorithm that are our real enemies. And what they're trying to do is get us more and more having the phones in the palm of our hands. And this is why the streaming services are starting to put out better content than the networks, than the TV channels. They don't want you watching TV anymore. They want you streaming, because on the streaming services, you're traceable and you're manipulatable, and they can bring to you all the programming you want. And Netflix, Amazon Prime, even you know, the YouTube Red, they've got some stuff going on. And The Thinning, that's a movie, I believe, or they've got a sequel now, is and Just Arizona's a woman. So you're pretty much all girls except for California Ninja Prepper, I think, at the moment. But we're talking about the programming in the TVs, and thank you, we brought up from Mama Bear the Netflix and chill narrative, and that was something that, you know, was getting hashtagged and bounced around and memed and hashtag until Gigi, you're here. And look, darling, we've still got your nutsack waiting to be sent out to you tomorrow, and I put your name on my nutsack, so glad to have you on board. But Netflix and chill was a narrative, and this is how they're getting you more and more hooked on the programming, and how they're controlling you, because more and more people watch these on their phone or their tablets or their computer, and they put their headphones on, so it distracts anything around you and puts you into the world of what's going on in front of you in the fictitious world. And the virtual reality danger is waiting to happen, and something I mentioned just last week in the Ready Player One predictive program. If you haven't watched that, please do. And you know, I've got a whole playlist now of social and predictive programming videos. It's around the 20 video marks, and all this is stuff that's come off the back of that first Marfoogle phone call when I first started talking about this stuff. And that's why I wanted to try and do one of these live shows about that and see what we can happen. And why I set up my little TV screen here is why we may be able to have a little look at some of these stuff live, but I'm not sure how well that will work. But the doomsday prophecies and the depopulation are very, 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 very evident in a lot of these things. Now I'm going to try and get up the Thinning trailers, and we're going to have a little look at them, and we're going to cast the camera towards the TV stream. So I can't read your comments at the moment unless they pop up on the screen. So let's, the Thinning trailer. And I think under the Freedom of Information Act and for purposes of education, you are allowed. What's up? My name is Logan Paul, and I play Blake in the Thinning. Oh, look, hang on, sorry, we've got a bit ahead of ourselves. So we've got this set up. Does this work for you, Thrift fam? So move in the tripod so you can see the screen, and I'm going to try and navigate and move around from here. So I don't know what this is exactly. It's the Thinning official trailer. We can still see little Mr. Noodles in the corner, so that's cool. Check out the official trailer for my new movie. So this is the official moving, and this is the population, and here we are. How many sizes of pentagon have? 5. What causes disease? Bacteria. How many letters are in the alphabet? 26. Take your time. Focus on the equation. You're going to do great. I love you. I love you so much. What if decrease the population? We are the #1 most educated population in 196 countries. A single standardized test determines who survives. Is this working? Can you see this and hear it okay? Here are the results. No. And here, if they don't pass the tests, they get dragged off to be killed. And you see. I'm sorry, son. Turn it up. Sorry about the sound. Hold on. He's gonna have to stand by a system that put his own son to death. Can you hear it now? There is a story developing at Vista Point High School. Okay, can you hear it a little bit better now? I failed that test. Oh my God, man. Tony, can you help me? We need to see this. I have to turn the sound down, you see, to read your chat. Take her to the Thinning. There are those that say the Thinning is barbaric.
barbaric to be the best? If you don't support our great society, then you are a parasite.
You are a parasite.
Do you know what we do with parasites? We wash them out.
Are we approved to commence the thinning? You are approved.
So that's the thinning. And what does it tell you there? Nothing but depopulation. Now, excuse me, I just got to go and shut the door upstairs. It's got a little bit windy and it's blowing about in the back. Okay, so that was one. Did that work well, by the way? I'm going to try and read your comments if they post up, because I've lost my access to reading your comments through streaming this to you. So they have, this is the second one of the two. Now we're going to press it on pause for a second. So I want to see if I can get a couple of the comments up here. So again, it's from the YT. Yes, good. Is this a little bit better? Alrighty. So this is something that I've never done before on this channel. So I don't really know how or not this is working well, and I'm glad I'm getting your feedback to let me know that you can hear it. So this is the sequel, and as you can see, New World Order. You don't need any more predictive programming than that, and we've got the thinning up here. And I caught a little bit of Fake Truth's live feed yesterday, and I'm touch base with Fake Truth, and hopefully we're going to be bringing you some collaboration, because a few of you all have been asking for that. Respect to you, Fake Truth. If you get to see this, my friend, I hope you like what you're seeing, and I see what you were doing with The Handmaiden's Tale, so I'm kind of trying to copy that. And I think Snafu, he does something similar to this. He casts onto the TV. So this is kind of shit video productions in the low budget, kind of MacGyvering a studio and stuff together. I'm just using, here you go, you can see the phone that I'm using to cast to my TV screen. And this is, you know, basic technology, and the most basic way I can do to create this for you. So, you know, I'm trying to make this shit up as I go along and trying to make it a little bit more entertaining than just the hands in Prepper Baby. So, hi Jasper, good to see you in the house. I haven't actually seen this one myself yet, but there you go, the thinning the New World Order. I was going to do a little video and upload this myself. So we're going to throw this into the live feed, and I'm going to try and read your comments on the phone here that I'm recording on. And Einstein's mum saying it's perfect. Thank you. And as I said, this is another example of letting you know that you don't need all the fancy, expensive gadgets to make yourself a YouTube channel. And you can get by quite easily with what you have on hand. And making do is what I try to preach. So we're going to hit the play button and let's see what happens here. And this is really good. I'm enjoying this at the moment. This has certainly opened up many horizons for the thrift store prepper. An overpopulated world. So here we go again with a narrative. The students must take a test. Those who fail are executed.
We are live for the memorial service of Blake Redding.
That was the guy from the first movie.
Who lost his life when he failed his thinning exam last week.
The thinning exam.
Miss Michaels, I wanted to offer you an advisory role in our...
Can you hear it okay?
I'm not going to be a mouthpiece. Tell the governor.
I think I've seen the
We're
rain.
not with the governor. We're with the fight.
The fight, look.
All levels of government.
Hiding in plain sight, all levels of government.
Help the governor. Find a way.
So there you go. There's a secret society this involved going on.
Saw Blake's body.
No one saw Blake. Now, I'm wondering if the thinning's got anything to do with cannibalism. Or maybe they're using these people for body parts.
Congratulations. Your class has been spared. Every single one of you was chosen to receive a second chance at life.
Ellie! Governor's kid, right? Probably used to getting whatever you want. Ellie belongs to me
And I guess these are the people that are born to reproduce. Facial recognition there. Did you see that going on, people? Laser beams.
We can't break the law. We are the law.
You can't break the law. We are the law. Something Judge Dredd used to say, I am the law. Rise up.
This place is alive. No one's ever gotten out before. They have to try.
I can't keep doing this.
You have to.
Look at all this technology. That's going to be here very soon. Little bit Minority Report.
I'm gonna take the raw person in power, pretend freedom as we know it.
We have to stop. Not leaving without her.
This is our last chance at this.
We're going to war.
The thinning New World Order. So there you go. We're going to bring the camera back round to here and give it a click back into place. Can we still see Mr. Noodles? Gives a new meaning to the word meat stick or selfie stick. I didn't see that. All right, let me try and get your comments back up, because without them, I'm kind of operating a little bit blind, and you, the audience, are ever so much a part of these broadcasts, because without you, I'd be recording to nobody. So let me get back to where I was, and oh, I got to turn the volume down. Henley, you're showing up late. No need to apologize. We're just glad you're here, and you're not late. We did start a little bit earlier, so if you thought that we were on at 9 o'clock, you're not that late at all. So welcome. Glad you're here. Better to be here than never. So I don't know, people, how was that for you as a viewer experience? Did that work out? And what did we see in that video that you may have noticed from those that stood out to you as a little bit worrying? We're trying to make this up and make it as interactive as possible, but we got some hellos going. CJ's got to go and make dinner. Thank you for that. And you are awesome too. Thank you. And enjoy your dinner. Bon appetit. And if you feel like popping back afterwards, do so. Maybe leave us on in the background and we'll have dinner together. And oh, Amaz, I didn't notice you creep into the thrift store, so welcome to you. And Jasper saying that was cool. So yeah, that was something I kind of rigged up literally 5 minutes before I went on live. So yeah, we will be seeing you later, CJ. So mostly from that, we had nothing but depopulation and looking like a little bit of a toe. I am sneaky, lol, thanks. That's good to know. And if you're sneaky, then you're certainly in the right place. So hi CJ and bye CJ and hi Amaz. A big up, what's up to all my nutsack fam. Nutsack fam. That's something that we haven't heard you. Yeah, 111. Yeah, the thinning. So what they've got going on in this society. Now I haven't seen the movies, I've only just seen the trailers. So the thinning is an exam that everyone has to take, and I guess every year of education at the end of that school year, they have to take an exam, and children young as 6 years old, I believe, who fail their thinning exam are then executed to stop the world from being overpopulated. And did someone say have a drink? You know what, I'm gonna have a little drink. It is my spring break. We've had a 4:20 break, we're into our second hour, so let's have a little drink there. And I only did have a little mouthful for good measure, so any of you all that are still drinking the game, you keep going. Oh, that was quite that went well down better than anticipated. But so yeah, the thinning is all about depopulation and keeping the world from being overpopulated, and it's forcing kids, and again it's targeting the youth, not the adults that they're stopping the kids from growing up into adults in this way. Not only are they culling the current population, they're preventing future growth of the population, because more and more kids that are killed before they get to the age of reproduction, they're not going to be able to repopulate, obviously. And so depopulation, and where does this fit in with society? Well, it fits in very well with society. In the Hunger Games, the Hunger Games, and something I also mentioned, Hunger Games, this all stems from Battle Royale, which was a Japanese movie back in the down. And that's exactly why kids are being dumbed down, because the dumbest level of society is the much easiest one to control. And sorry, I got a little bit angry then. And homeless young ones, exactly. This is by design. Young people ain't getting a chance to get a leg up on society. They're not getting a chance to be able to buy property or afford rent. And this is why so many of them go onto the streets. I've been in a homeless shelter. I've seen the young people that are homeless, and there are so many of these young movies that are targeting the depopulation of young people. And again, the Hunger Games is nothing that I've seen. It seems similar to Get. And the reason they're all so similar is because it is the programming of the narrative. They need to get you, and this is why there are so many similar programs out there which all have this depopulation agenda, be it the fucking Avengers, be it the Hunger Game, be it the Thinning, be it the Walking Dead. It's all about depopulation, because in the zombie apocalypse, in Jesus God, how many of those zombie apocalypse movies and TV series have we seen in the last decade? There's been a pure saturation of the zombie genre, and that really did sort of kickstart the apocalypse craze in all these doomsday type of shows that we've seen. Just replace Costco with Amazon. And this is the thing, that these online corporations, they have no jurisdiction, they have global capacity. And a little while ago, Amazon was saying that they were going to come to a new city they wanted to build a new factory somewhere. And rather like these countries, when they're trying to get the Olympics or the World Cup, spend millions of dollars or sometimes billions of dollars in these promotional campaigns as to why the Olympics or the World Cup should come to their particular country. Toronto spent a couple of billion, I think, trying to put together this promotional ad to get Amazon to come here and open up their operational headquarters. And depopulation has started. And how does it start in modern ways? Well, back in the 80s, let's go back 88 miles an hour to 1985. And not only did fucking Back to the Future come out, the AIDS epidemic become a fear tool of the elites. And what did AIDS tell us? If you have sex, then there's a chance that you might contract a life-threatening disease. And many dance tunes and popular pop music at the times had the buzzword, and even t-shirts were made with, "Hey, you, don't be silly, put that condom on your willy." And they've been working on it in years. And who is working on this harder than anybody are the good old people over at the United Nations and their wonderful Agenda 2030 that was previously TLC. The music industry, and earlier we mentioned Tavistock Industry and Laurel Canyon and the part they played in manipulating the masses with the hippie psyop and the psychedelia. They introduced LSD and stuff to mainstream people after they'd been testing it out in places like the Montauk Project in the MK Ultra. And all this mind control stemmed from Operation Paperclip, where the Allied forces, the Russians, the Brits and the Yanks handpicked and selected the best Nazi scientists to come back with them and tell them how they managed to manipulate the masses. And part of that was through radio and cinema, because TV wasn't really popular at the time, although the BBC did do their first broadcast in 1939. The war stopped the production of TV becoming a little bit more widespread. So they put that little project on hold until the 50s. But Hitler used radio and cinema to send out messages of propaganda. And this is how the mental mind control in the programming of society become. Because monkey see, monkey do, monkey hear, monkey repeat kind of shit. So Henley's mentioning something about colouring me. I want to sex you up. Ooh, I want to sex you up. Excuse my bad singing. Orwellian, and I'm telling you all, we have surpassed whatever Orwell predicted in 1984. And thank you, Henley. What about them? What are you going to tell me about them? I'll try and catch it out of the corner of my eye. But Hitler and the Nazis used radio and cinema to produce propaganda and mind control. And it was in the 1950s that radio and television become more and more popular in society. And we've mentioned before how War of the Worlds has been used multiple times as part of a psyop and a narrative, getting us used to the alien invasion that I believe might be the next large false flag. They're destroying our meat and veggies and can't eat anything any more safely, it seems. Salt and Prepper. Salt and Prepper is here telling you to push it good. Promoting sex and then telling you to have sex. You'll get AIDS. Mindfuck, right? Exactly. The left tells you something different to the right, but both of them meet in something I told you about the left wing and the right wing. They are the wings of the same bird, and it's the head that you need to pay attention to, not the rings. But you're right, the AIDS epidemic back in the 80s was all part of population control, because what people started doing is they started wrapping up, and by wrapping up I mean they were wearing condoms, and the Catholic Church was very, very against this at the time, and Mother Teresa spoke out about it, and Madonna with all her sexy talking, what she was, and good God, she's on the payroll for sure. But Madonna, thank you, Just Arizona. I do have a knowledge and have kind of followed this kind of stuff for a very, very, very long time. But the AIDS epidemic not only put the gay movement back a decade or so, because they were very, very close to coming out and being accepted in towards the, the disco and the big beat Boys Town music movement of the late 70s and early 80s, and this kind of stemmed from the disco craze. But AIDS was the first kind of epidemic that was man-made and created as part of population control, because now, the chance of having unprotected sex could lead you with a disease that could kill you eventually. And again, we had that, what was the Tom Hanks movie and Bruce Springsteen? Philadelphia, there you go. Philadelphia was a very popular movie in the 90s that showed Tom Hanks as a victim of AIDS, and we saw how it, it affected him. And it wasn't about the movie sending you, what the guy was subjected to as an AIDS sufferer. Is about putting the fear of what happens when you get AIDS into the population. It just reinforced a little bit that message about, don't. He did, again, in movies that win Oscars, usually win Oscars for a reason, because they are part of the program, people. They get you thinking a certain way. And a movie I mentioned yesterday, as we went a little bit off topic, was the Snowden, the whistleblower movie. And something I keep telling you and repeating in the Marfoogle chats is, there ain't no whistles being blown that ain't meant to be heard. Now look at it this way. This guy's defunct from the CIA, a big government agency, and then suddenly through WikiLeaks, he's whistling like a little prison snitch. And you know what happens to prison snitches? And So he's out and he's blowing his whistle like a little songbird on the first day of spring, finding his voice, yet no one ain't fucking shutting him up yet. He's putting the nation at threat with the things that he's whistling about. Yeah, Hollywood make a movie about him that gets nominated for all sorts of awards and is brought to you by the Hollywood elite. I think Oliver Stone had something to do with the Whistleblower movie, and there were a lot of people involved in it. If this guy really is blowing whistles that don't want to be heard and he's a threat to society, and censorship is so fucking big and strong and powerful at the moment, why are they allowing Hollywood to tell a movie explaining how this guy fucking escaped from CIA and stole classified information and got it past security if they didn't want you to know about it, people? And you're right, snitches get fucking stitches, and I've served some time behind bars and I've seen what happens to snitches, trust me. And that is a little plug for tomorrow's themed content, as we're gonna go behind bars and I'm gonna tell you how TSP survived his real life shit hitting the fans situation. It's a story I started in the Thrift Store Prepper After Dark video that I inadvertently deleted not long after I uploaded it. And a lot of that content was stuff that we're kind of touching on a little bit now. And quite luckily enough, we have managed to drag this back a little bit more onto content. And we've got some good stuff going on in the chat. So maybe we should try and find another. Okay, I'm going to give you another trailer. I'm going to find something. So I'm trying to think of things off the top of my head. So no, we don't want the disco. Battle Royale. I'll show you that. Let's start with that before we go into where I'm going. Battle Royale trailer. Now this movie come out, I believe. Okie dokie. So I'm getting the trailer up. We might have to see a commercial. So here we go, moving it around. Sorry about the trailer. So this is the oh, we got to get the volume up.
SUV of the year.
Ignore all this. Don't look. You don't need a Jeep, and you don't need the discount. Fuck the Jeeps. So this is Battle Royale, the film that pretty much is built this model for the culling of young people. And this actually came out in the late 90s, I believe, but wasn't released until the early 2000s. I don't know if you can see the subtitles. I'll read them if you want, and you'll find out if you're worth it. So I'll just pause it there for you, and we do this sometimes in a little screen recording. So very similar to what we saw in The Thinning, was these kids have been taken away from school, and they're all underachievers, and they're being told that they have to go to summer school in order to be re-educated in order to pass their grades the coming year. So there is no summer school. That's just a lie. They tell them that. And what they do is they take them off to an island where they fit them with a collar that if they try to remove explodes and they lose their heads and die anyway. But they're taken out to this island and told that they have to kill each other. And the last one that remains alive, the prize is life. So they get to live and go back to society, but they have to kill all their friends and classmates in order to do it. So they get sent out to this island and they get given a bag. Now in this bag, there may be a gun, a crossbow, an axe, or there might be a frying pan, a tennis racket, or some other shit item. So let's go back. Quentin Tarantino loves this movie. A modern classic. So it's got lots of pretty little Asian girls killing each other and getting covered in blood. So those Asian fetish people would love this movie. Although they're not getting covered in man milk, they're getting covered in blood. 42 students, 3 days, One survivor. No escape. They're not friends for long. So there you go, Battle Royale, people. That was pretty much the first movie of these. So I guess we should have a little look at Hunger Games. Do you want to look at Hunger Games, or should we go back to looking at Prepper Baby and Little Shit, and I'll figure out what we're going to look at next? And get your comments back up, because without the comments, I'm a little bit, as I said, lost for what's going on. So there we go, back to... Oh! Forgot to turn the sound down. So Lord of the Flies, yes, and that was a book as well. That was I forget the name of the author, but that was the kids. They got stranded on an island, and they picked on poor little Piggy. Was that the character, the big fat kid that was on the island, and he was like the odd one out, I guess, and they picked on him. And that's actually something that they parodied in The Simpsons, and that might be something we can have a little look at now. So how many of you are aware of the predictive programming that goes on in The Simpsons? So goodness, have you noticed these end time? This was from Gigi. Have you noticed that these end times, that anyone that gets help ends up being big problems to the survivors? Definitely a message they are trying to send. Very good point there, Gigi. And this is what I think a lot of these doomsday and apocalypse movies are programming more than the message of the doomsday is how to behave in these events. So a couple of you are saying yes, The Simpsons is predictive, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about them next. But the programming behavioral patterns, and this is a little bit something what I try to point out in the Prepper Exposed videos that I bring to you, that a lot of them are programming you how to behave in these eventualities, not how to necessarily learn to survive. And they're talking to you about shooting loved ones with babies who come up to your house when they're starving and you've got food to eat. And again, all these movies are kind of telling you, don't help anyone, it's just going to be problems, look after yourself. And we've the last 10 years, we've really have bred a superficial, narcissistic, self-gratification, victim sympathy culture mentality. I don't know if that really sums up what's going on in modern days, but people like to feel a little bit, that they want to feel like they're a victim, and being a victim and being treated as though you're a little bit special is something that gets a little bit addictive. And this is what Gigi's saying. They don't want us to help each other. And this is what we're doing at the TSP channel. We are teaching us to get back to the old values of loving your neighbor and helping each other out in times of need. And a little bit of that Blitz spirit that got Britain through the war was when the people got put down in the subway stations or the underground train stations in London, in the bunkers, in the bomb shelters. That was when the best of folk come out. In this little live feed tonight, we've had nothing but good vibes and everybody getting on with each other. And this is what we're trying to breed. This is what we're bringing back reality and getting back to life. We're not about the selfies. We're not about the filters. We're not about the edits. We're about real life, rough and raw, and real things that real people can do. And real people sometimes pay attention to what's going on. And like Adam said yesterday on the Marfugal, some of us are putting together the dots, and some of us behind the scenes, out of the mind's eye, we've got a little bit of a think tank. Now, some of us fellow YouTubers with a similar mindset are actually working or in the very, 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 very early stage of working on bringing you a bit of a platform for this kind of thing. But I don't want to give too much away at the moment, but wheels are in motion. Excuse me, I need to take a sip of water. I was getting a little bit. And Daniel, I noticed you've been mentioning Gattaca a few times, so something I haven't seen myself but heard of. And another thing I keep hearing a lot about are Black Mirrors. And that's something that a lot of people are telling me that I should watch because it's rich in with the predictive programming. Oh, look at little shit in the corner there. Bless him. He looks so happy. Sorry about that. The channel Broco has shit content for breaking down the Simpsons. So Gattaca, we might have a little look at the moment, but I don't want to keep going to the screen because I lose your comments. And as Michelle keeps saying, Black Mirror will blow your mind. Well, I doubt it will blow my mind, but it might give me something to think about, I'm sure. I have seen a few things in real life where fiction no longer blows my mind. But yeah, Black Mirrors is something I think I'm going to have a little bit of a look into because Black Mirrors in China, China's gone all Black Mirror with their social credit score. And I'm sure many of you have heard that. And Black Mirror, well, there ain't enough hours in the day sometimes to be watching all of this stuff. But maybe, do you know what? And there's a Black Mirror movie. What's that Black Mirror movie called? There's a spin-off, one-off movie, I believe. But let's pull up the Gattaca trailer. Gattaca trailer. Okay. So we're getting that up. So let's bring around there, and here we go. Fast cars, fast talker, fast action, Advil nighttime relief. Oh, the sound.
Ability to perfect the physical and mental characteristics of every unborn child.
Oh, this sounds genetics. Okay, they're genetically modifying children already. They're doing this in real life. I'm pretty sure of this.
In the not too distant future,
And it's always in the not too distant future, remember, in these films.
DNA will determine everything about us.
Yes, it does.
A minute drop of blood.
Did this come out in the 90s?
Or a single hair determines where you can work, who you should marry.
Oh, Uma Thurman. Yeah, I think this is a 90s movie for sure. She was popular back then.
Of achieving. In a society where success
Is that Jude Law?
determined by science, divided by the standards of perfection, one man's only chance
Is that Ethan Hawke?
Pull this off? I don't know exactly.
is to hide his own identity
This is the last day that you're going to be you and I'm going to be me.
by borrowing someone else's.
Identity theft.
What about the interview? That was it.
Do you think you'd be doing what you're doing if it wasn't for who you are, what you are?
I have a feeling you might be there under false pretenses of playing somebody else's hand. You've got my picture plastered up all over the place. You'll recognize me. They won't recognize me. They'll recognize me. I don't recognize you. They won't believe that one of their elite could have suckered them all this time.
Interesting.
They are going to find me.
But in a place where any cell from any part of your body can betray you, how do you hide? When we all shed 500 million cells a day.
500 million cells a day, DNA.
Ethan Hawke.
Well, yeah, that did look a little bit interesting. So let's look at this Black Mirror. Excuse the poor jumping around of the screen. Black Mirror trailer. Season 5 official Butter Snatch. Is that the movie? Okay, well, let's just watch this one anyway. And there we are. They're on the... Oh, we got some pills going on.
What sorts of things?
We're going to be a hit factory, like Motown, but for computer games. You heard it here first.
I understand you. An adventure game based on the book. Jerome F. Davies was a genius.
Oh, and this looks like it was set back in the 80s.
When it's a concept piece,
madness is what you need.
Oh, we've got some Frankie Goes to Hollywood reacts, and this was part of the gay movement that got shut down by the AIDS epidemic. All right, and they're clutching at the nostalgia strings here. Look at the old London bus. Something Marfugel's got on his channel, a little red London bus. Don't know if you people clocked that recently. I've just seen a little red London bus there. W.H. Smith, yeah, you know, I'm definitely going to have to watch this. Maybe later tonight I will give this a watch and let you know what I think of it.
You see the bigger picture. You worry me.
It's about a simulated reality. Granny C. All right, so I'm definitely going to be having a little gander at that one for sure, for sure. You can believe that. So, Henry, you'll be pushing 40 next year. Well, you're looking good for your age, girl. I presume you're a girl because you're all pretty much girls here at the moment. So let's get me chat back up. So that was a couple of little interesting trailers there. So definitely Gattaca looks like they are genetically modifying babies or for birthing. Play the trailer. I'll play you on the Black Mirror for season 1 telling me what to do. We've just got away from that. If there is one, I think there will. We might have a look at it, but for now I think we got WV in the house. Country Roads, West Virginia. Bandersnatch is interactive. Interesting. What about A Brave New World? Well, A Brave New World is something, War of the Worlds, the musical version of War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne. It was in the 70s. That was narrated by Richard Burton and starred celebrities like David Essex and Kate Bush and Phil Lynott of Phil Lizzy. They all, hey, VW, WV, they all featured on this album. And there was one of the tracks was called In a Brave New World. And the lyrics to that particular musical sock song was, with a handful of men, we can start all over again in a brave new world. And again, the Martian invasion did wipe out quite a large amount of the population with their heat ray. If you remember, depopulation and alien agenda. So the movie, not the song. And yeah, I know the movie that you're talking about, and there's a lot of them, the New World Order, and it's a very common theme, the New World Order. And age is just a number, Henley. That's true. And you're saying that the picture, that's your old man in the picture. Is that correct? Hi, Glynis. Nice to see you in the house. In Just Arizona, who's on it? Knowledge do you love? Danielle's? I'm not sure what that's meant to. Well, I'll be 59 in September, so I'm the oldest. I'm as young as you feel. Well, I think we've got a couple in their 60s as well, VW. So don't feel like you're old. So sorry, I just had a little bit of a complications then. Yours, well, thank you. That does mean a lot, because a lot of people sometimes think I'm talking shit when I talk about these things, but when we are amongst the thrift fam, then Henley is the man. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure. I'm so many ladies here, Henley. It's hard to know who's who. And Trip 8709 just got back from the dollar store with a $20 score of trail mix in Chicharino's. Way to go, Trip 87. I wonder where you got those ideas from. Awesome. And Granny C, she's 59, and Granny C, I told you I was never a gynecologist. Stop sending the photos. I'm joking. Granny C's not sending me gynecological photographs. I just wanted to make you laugh, because we did get a little bit serious for a while with those predictive programming stuff. So what are we looking at on the clock? An hour and 43 minutes. And I love when I get a little smiley face from Granny C. Love you, Granny C. You know I do. And making Henley, old lady in the picture. I'm still confused on that one. But Henley, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, but I'm glad you're part of the thrift stand. And Michelle Canham, hey, you're a can of ham. I just realized that. Never saw that before. And what were we calling you yesterday? Spam pan. That's something I need to do. Warm up my spam stew because I made my meals for a week yesterday. And just to prove to you that I do and am going to eat that all week, I was going to eat it live on the show. So if you want to see me, I'm not going to take the camera upstairs and warm up the stew. But, kisses to you, Granny C. No, Henley, I want you to be a man. I mean, this is like too many chicks. People think, you know, a harem would be good, but I'm just thinking that's just a lot of headaches and menstrual cycles that you're going to have to deal with. So thank you for being part of the sausage crew, Henley. And you know, I'm going to be 48 very shortly, I think, if I can remember rightly. But I'm going to heat up my spam stew and eat that in the last hour of this show. I think it's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men. So we had fun so far tonight, fam. And yeah, VW, why do I call you VW? Because of the car. But yeah, WV, we're glad that we got you some subs, and we try to get, you know, give all these new little real YouTubers a shout out and try and get them some views, because this is where the real knowledge is, people. We're passing on information, and some of this. Anika's back. Anika. I like the munchies, master. We know that you are. Well, you're right. I'm gonna have to get some munchies. Actually, I'll go and grab a couple of sorry about this. Some of the little fishy pretzels, although I could open up a nut sack. Not one of these, because these are part of the giveaway, but I do need a little bit of a... It's raining dicks. I would be the only one to get hit by a vag. Now, I always used to say if I ever fell in a bucket of tits, I would come out sucking my thumb. So that's a similar kind of thing. So Einstein's mum, she's just subbed to WV, and this is what we do. This is how we help each other, and this is how we be nice to each other. We keep supporting and keep each other laughing. Sorry, I'm eating a couple of these little fishy pretzels, and they're very delicious. And just Arizona is love. So we are having fun this spring break. It almost makes me wish we could do this every single night. And these are some for $1.25, these are a super item at the Dollarama. Any of you in Canada, the funny fishes, and let's try and say it in French, because it looks quite funny. So, getting into the French mode. Drôles de poissons. There you go. That's how you would say it in French. I'm sensitive. Someone on a game I play doesn't appreciate my sense of humor and was insulting me because I was the only girl in the clan. And called you a slut. Well, you're not a slut. Sings a lot. Well, I don't know. You might have some promiscuous behavior we don't know about, but that's not very nice. And that's certainly the thing that doesn't fly here at the thrift store. At the thrift store, we're nice to everyone, and we try to spread laughter and jokes. And it does look a little bit like the word poison. And some fish is poison. Remember The Simpsons? Poison, tasty fish. What the fuck, sing along? Yeah, so don't be playing that game sing along anymore. Just come and hang out with the TSP family, because this is where we love you, and this is where we appreciate you shaved underneath. And we're talking about her head. She's got a shaved head underneath, not the coochie area, although she may do. Who knows? Girls are into pubic grooming these days. So where are we going to go next? Heating up the stew, I think. So let's everybody sings along. We're going to give you a Thrift Fam group hug virtually. So everybody sings along some nice little emojis and thumbs up and love hearts and shit. make her feel better, because some people called her names elsewhere. And we love Sings Along. She sings as well. She's got a channel if you want to go and see her and listen to Sings Along singing some songs. That's right, you know, and this is one of the things, we may have a lot of inappropriate humor here, but at the end of the day, we're all nice to each other. And the meat sticks and nut sacks is what levels us and makes us chuckle like little kids. So I think Michelle Canham, the can of ham, the spam. So there, sing along. Everyone's loving you, darling. And maybe if we could get you on the phone call, you could sing for us. But we got the funny fishes and vodka in a little shit. Come on, there's not another YouTube channel on this fucking live right now that's got funny fishes, a little shit, and a bottle of vodka in their live feed. Are we right? And let's chuck a fucking tub of weed in there. So we've got sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I've just got a message from somebody. Oh my good God. I'm being told, I just got a message from my boss. Now, remember, I'm on spring break, people, and remember that I'm getting beaten up with the fucking NBA playoffs. Well, lo and behold, I just got a message live asking me to go to work tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the NBA playoffs. Now, I don't know if I feel like doing that, and I might even have to tell them that I'm unavailable because enough's enough. And I saw that happening when I left on Tuesday and the Raptors failed to win. Little Shit is the producer of the TTC. Well, this is my vacation and playing hooky. You know, I don't really like to turn money down, or I don't like to be that kind of guy. But to be honest, I've had enough of this fucking NBA shit. It's making my I'm not going to scroll up, but I believe you told me I'd be called in tomorrow, and I'm almost certain that I was going to be called in at some point. You have to do well. I don't. I feel obligated that I have to, but I really don't want to be going in and doing that shit because it's fucking with my nervous system. I'm not gonna lie, it's too much noise, too busy, it's hard to think, it's not a fun environment. I don't do anything at the stadium. I happen to be a chef, and I happen to be a chef in a sports bar, in a sports bar that holds about 600 people who come in to watch the game and will keep me running off my fucking ass for 3 hours. So that's it. I'm a chef. And I should tell him I've made plans. So it's not cool. There's nothing cool about being a chef at all. It's absolutely horrible. And for the most part of my days, my nutsack is being poached slowly in a pool of my ass sweat. And that is the reality of the kitchen life, sweetheart. And Anika's not feeling a zombie apocalypse. So the kitchen industry or the service industry is brutal, and especially when there are huge sporting events like this, and more so because Toronto are involved, and I live in Toronto. That would be a good one, you know, can do. I got tickets to the game, but then I'd have to provide ticket stubs and pictures of me at the game, so I can't do that. But yeah, no, the NBA in this is making my life unbearable, and I can't deal with another game. And there's a good chance that I'm gonna have to do it again on Sunday for Game 7, because I'm sure the NBA is fixed and they are gonna drag it out for the millions as much as they can and take this series to 7 games. So that is just put a complete and utter mindfuck and dampener on my situation and my feed. And sorry about that, people. I think I'm going to wrap this up on that note. I'm sorry to say I ain't got the fucking mood to go on anymore. Sorry, talk about a buzzkill. So I'm very sorry. We were going to bring you some stew and some other stuff, but yeah. Honest to God, I just can't think of anything other than that. And whatever good feelings and great vibes I have today is just vanished out. of my system. So sorry, Thrift fam. We were having such a wonderful, fun night, and sorry, it's crushed spirits a little bit. I'm not close to tears, but you know, we were just on a high and on a roll, and all of a sudden, we're in shit pit. So Thrift fam, it looks like I've got to go and deal with some stuff, and I will be going to roll myself something very, very fat in a minute and try and get myself out of this. And yeah, I was in vacation mode, and now I'm in fucking brutal. I've got to go into hell mode now, and I just don't want to do it. Honest to God, if I had a fucking gun, I'd shoot myself in the foot. So thank you for sticking with this show this evening. Hi there, True Flicks. Sadly, we've had a little bit of a buzzkill, and my mood has been just dragged back to the fucking toilet in shit pit with that. So thank you anyway. I'm glad that we had some fun while it lasted, and I'm going to see what I can do to deal with this situation and try and get myself out of this if I can. And I am going to be doing some serious rolling. Normally I'd get a piece of music for you to outro you out with, but I'm really not feeling anything right now. So Thrift fam, thank you very much for watching. I don't know what else to say. We may or may not see you tomorrow. We may have to abandon spring break at this point. Who knows what's going on, but I'm going to see what I can do to get out of this. So sorry, Thrift fam, for the short live feed this evening. Thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next time, and again, we love you all as well. And sorry, I'm getting PTSD from the thought of having to go in and do that shit again. So thank you, people. Glad you enjoyed it. Sorry it can't be longer, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. Good night, everybody.